And inhale. Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ankaraname, Sakaraname, Sakaraname, Sirigurudaname, Ankaraname, Sakaraname, Sakaraname, Sirigurudaname, Ankaraname, Sakaraname, Sakaraname, Sirigurudaname. Long deep breath. And now, oh, look at this. We also found Salt City. And we also found Kehar. Look at this. This is wonderful. God bless you all. Oh, that was Gian Sprem also. Okay.
Did you see also Agia Paul?
Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, yes. I'm sorry to putting because I'm just looking at her. I know that. Okay, thank you.
I am here.
Okay, good. So now with Baba Siri Chand, this is the concept from Baba Siri Chand. It says B, like B-E. Do you understand that? Is anybody needed me to say that again? Okay, it's B. And uh, and be meditation for Baba Siri Chand for 3 minutes. And please begin. And inhale and exhale. And stay with heart breath. Okay. So today we have a lot of people. This is wonderful. So be sure that maybe everybody gets about, I don't know, about 5 or 6. Is that right? Something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. So now, um, so please go with Sahej. Sahej, are you there?
Yes, my apologies. I I don't know what I just did to my screen. Um, it took me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first thing that I felt almost like I was shown like a subtitle, like, okay, B, and the subtitle is Your Presence Works for You. And then I was just given this feeling in my body, a very, very grounded, cozy feeling, and hearing the words authentic self, and then just starting to feel into what it means to be authentically who I am in the world, to show up authentically and from the heart, and to simply be as I am, as one is in that space in the world, is the point of being here.
Hmm.
That's probably, those words aren't exactly what I would pick, but that's close enough. That the idea is, and I had just been telling Japa Saraswati this uh, story about a couple of days ago was the opening of our one of our festivals here, a music festival, and I MC the opening night, and I have had some anxiety about it in a way that I never had before, because I've done lots of things on stage in my life, and it's just a job I've enjoyed a lot. But um, since, and I know, Siri, Gian, you can appreciate this, since I've been moving through this long COVID, my brain's been affected, and sometimes my speech is affected, and sometimes I have very mild aphasia. And so it's the unanticipated nature of that that makes it so nerve wracking. Um, so I was having some anxiety about it and trying to do the things I knew that would sort of shore me up. But I remember that this very beloved friend of mine, who I've known forever, we were best friends forever and lived down the street from each other, she just said to me, "Don't worry, buddy. Just speak from your heart." And when she said that, I felt it in my whole body. And I was like, of course, of course, that's the answer, because I'm not going to go awry in that case. I will communicate if I'm actually doing that. And then, so it was. So it was. I had a lovely evening, and it felt, opening night always feels very cozy. It's very much a homecoming. Everybody's coming from near and far to greet each other. And it's like I keep feeling that in my body, that coziness of showing up authentically and from the heart, and how we feel when we meet each other in that way. It's such a lovely feeling of safety. is what I'm hearing. And then just before the call started, Japa Saraswati and I and Siri Gian, you came in on that conversation. We were talking about the last winter solstice in Florida when there were like 3 tornadoes in a row and they were all in a line coming straight at us. And we actually had to stop tantric in the middle of an exercise and evacuate, which is an unprecedented thing and frightening. But I had been in the front of one of the tantric lines, and my son, I happened to know because I walked past him to get to my place, was at the other end. And somehow, in this evacuation to the Gurdwara, we ended up next to each other. And even though this wild, scary thing was happening, we funneled into the Gurdwara. I was able to sit down right next to my son, and somebody got on stage and started chanting the Guru Ram Das chant. And they were telling us to, get into a position to protect yourself, which was essentially child's pose, like, get down, cover your head and whatever. And because we were getting into child's pose and it was familiar, it didn't feel frightening. And we were chanting the Guru Ram Das chant, and we were all there together. And I remember feeling the deepest contentment in my body at that moment, because there I was with my son. And then eventually Sonatam got on stage, who was like such a powerful connection with my son from his childhood, because she was like our soundtrack for a lot of his childhood. And I just felt like whatever is coming, this is what we do. We come together. We're absolutely our authentic heart selves in this space. We're in the Gurdwara. What more symbol do you want than that? And we're all chanting the Guru Ram Das chant. I know this wasn't everybody's experience, but it was my experience of absolute peace. And at that moment, I said, this is why we've been practicing this whole time, is exactly this. So that when the heavy duty things come at us, we're in peace because we have this tool and we know what to do. And I'm realizing now, from the other side of a lot of other terrifying things, that I had forgotten that vignette. Um, but that's how we showed up with each other there, absolutely authentically and from the heart. And it brought peace in what was a frightening circumstance.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's, I feel it in my body right now, and it's beautiful. So that's what I got today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sahesh. That that feels exactly right, isn't it?
It
This
does feel
is
so good.
this is what the times are about. And this is it. This is it. Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask about Honey Munder. Honey Munder, about Sahej was talking about the music festival. Is that Joyce? What was it? I'm not saying it.
Jossie.
Jossie. Yes. Was it from Jossie to start that? Honey Munder?
It's a different music festival. I don't know where Hadimandir is, but it's a different
Oh,
music festival.
okay. Okay, so now let's about Agya Paul.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That was beautiful, Saj. Um, very simple. It's funny because I was just saying this to one of my clients yesterday, who was just full of anxiety all over the place. She had open heart surgery um some years ago and so on. And I said, okay, let's just take some time and just be. And it was so hard for her. I said, just be, without expectation, without anticipation, without goals in mind. And then yeah, so that was that. And I hope that she said it was helpful. And then I proceeded after that session to stay with myself and to just be. And it was kind of difficult, It was first my mind, the thinking machine. Oh, you got to be doing this, and you should be doing this. And then I kept saying, okay, let me just come back to just being. And then what just happened now, presence heals, and awareness. Of course, Mary Oliver says this is the beginning of devotion. And I was just sitting and looking out at the trees and all of the new growth and the the flowers and daffodils and so forth. And I said to myself, yeah, I feel just like there's a oneness of being, just being with all of I could even cry about it because there's a oneness, the sense of being one with all that is and all that is moving and growing, and that which we don't see, which doesn't, the rhododendron I can't see, from the inside out. But the sense of presence, wow, just taking that time, it's very healing and very pervasive and um without judgment and very neutral. It's just like beautiful, beautifully neutral. And so that's for me where I'm at right now, is just this feeling of almost intense oneness with
Mm,
all of creation. Yep, that's where I'm at.
wow.
And it's a real gift, I mean, I feel like um I feel just being.
Mhm,
It's always it's like being with
mhm,
um being with myself, just being without having to do anything, just being present um to all that is.
mm,
Really, I think it's the group connection that's
mhm.
helped. Yeah, so thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
God bless you all. Okay. So now, what about Honey Munder? Are you there? Hmm.
Why don't I pass for right now?
Say it again.
I'll pass for right this moment.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So Gian Das Prem?
Satnam.
Satnam.
So for myself, the B and the Baba Siri Chand, I automatically heard music, and it was, of course, the B was being enunciated a little bit more. Habi such, Nanikahosi be such, and what it brought for me in my being is the moving through, the being sometimes for my personal self when I'm in that learning to be with this still point. There's also a certain amount of discomfort that we can deal with sometimes, and My example will be for when I first started chanting, it was I became comfortable with my voice, but at the same time, when you move through these chants, it brings up emotion because it stirs thought in the mind that you're also trying to still that thought. And in the being, or in that be, is where I can find the strength to move through that, to have that line straighten out, for the understanding of the sadness to come all the way through, for that understanding to be able to be in that being. And I think it's when we notice, we're also able to come up with either correction or a softening of that. And I when we notice the examples that we have around us and the people that we communicate with, that we have a sharing of that being in that still point. And it's the dristi, right? Or where we find that channel, the power in there, in that channel, that we're able to open up, and in that being we have a little the softness. And BabaJi is just, he's there all the time, I think, with like our air, and that, and the truth in the air, that we're healing ourselves. So I think in that be is just, it's like a tone and a sense, or a vibration, is what I'm getting from BabaJi. And that, and the, the circle of that understanding of how the sadness, the understanding, the happiness, the bliss of that. So sort of what I'm seeing is a circle with a line in the middle of it, and the, that vibration of being, sort of being in that middle space, and that Waheguru. Thank you, BabaJi. And practicing.
Yeah. God bless you.
Waheguru.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So now, Sun City. Sun City, are you there? Sun City? What? Okay. So now let's go for our wonderful Kehar. Oh my gosh. This is so wonderful to see you, dear.
Hey,
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. I've been thinking about you, and yeah, I just thought I would jump on the call today. It's been
Great.
a while. Yeah. Um, hmm. So, what immediately kind of came up for me is that my body is my home, and this deep kind of diorama, this look into my belly, which looked like it was like a house, a big, beautiful open windows, and there was a big swing in the middle, like one of those swings you can have in your house that's hangs from the ceiling and is wooden and has pillows and is very comfy, and there's just like glass and light all around, and the feeling that like my home is in my belly and my body is my friend, and this just beautiful kind of sense, and bringing all the parts of me that feel disjunct physically. I'm a very like felt sense person, so letting that all kind of coalesce in there. And yeah, because I for me I think a lot of splits that I'll feel sometimes in my brain or emotions, they get very reflected in my body. And remembering that like the body is a tool to actually bring the mind and the emotions together. So you can directly use your body as a tool for connection. and you don't even have to also use it, right? Or think about it. You just let the body be, and it will knit itself back together in a state of homeostasis. And in that way, heal other parts of you that you might be obsessing over, as we do, like with our brains and our emotions. But the body is really beautiful and smart. And I think it's also coming up because I have a bit of a cold, so I'm a little sick. So it's like this, oh, wait, my body knows exactly what to do to get back into a place of balance. So I think that was really beautiful.
Mm.
And I have to also just comment back to what Sahej said, is that I was the person who led the Gurdwara to start at solstice. That was 2018 when we had the tornadoes and we had to go into the, wait, was it 2018? No, I think it was earlier than that. I'm pretty sure it was 2017 when we had to, we yeah. Yeah, it was 2017 and that was me who
That's right.
did it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
oh, thank you for reminding me. It was nice.
No, it was interesting that when you brought that up, because I was remembering how I felt at that time. And I also, so I was the interim event director for Solstice last year. So I just ran Winter Solstice in Florida. My last one, I'm done. The organizations are, I'm not even going to go into that anymore at all. But we had a wonderful time. This past winter was kind of the culmination of many people who for years were visioning in their hearts and minds and really wanted to create a very like co-creative, supportive, inclusive atmosphere. And it was wonderful. And we had just a ball. We had so much fun. It was like maybe we're like 280 people on site. And it was just so much fun. And we had, we had to call 911. Some gentleman went to the hospital. We had another incident with a person, and we had the sheriff come over. So, we had not a tornado, but we had other situations where we had to problem solve quickly. And talking about all these years of prep, it was just seamless. And in a way, I loved it. Like, I loved dealing with the challenge. It was like, yeah, we got this. And the team was wonderful who we worked with, and we dealt with the things as a unit, and were able to like decompress and laugh and support each other after. And it was just amazing. And I felt the same thing in that tornado. It was like, okay, this is just what we're doing. We're going to do it. We're going to go through it. It's going to be fun. And we did, and it was fine. And everybody was great. And that is a real benefit. And I think tying back into what's coming up as the theme, I guess, for today, or being, is that when we are in our being spot, there is no challenge. You just flow. And then you can flow with each other and problem solve, and whatever you could have like a worst case scenario or a best case scenario, but you can come together and make it the best case scenario. So yeah, those are my thoughts of sharing for today.
Oh,
Thank you.
that was great. So that so that means during like you all have done such spiritual work is what's happening during the times. Is that what everybody understands? Is it yes or no?
Satnam.
Okay,
This
good.
is
Yep.
Sub City. I got my stuff working.
Yay.
Good. Okay. No, Sun City, go ahead. Now,
Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a great space to be in. My sister, my closest sister, I just love her, love her, love her, is dying of cancer. Pretty brutal because initially it looked like she was everything was clear. But then it turned out that this new kind of cancer treatment, I forget what it's called, but it's not chemo and it's not radiation, did not work. And the cancer just exploded all over her body. It's very, very painful because it's in her bones. So she's with her dear friend who studied at MIT and is a specialist in finding trials and stuff. So, and she has 2 autistic boys who love my sister. So my sister's staying with them. And what's kind of tragic, this is really important because I've been able to bring a lot of healing. She and I talk every day, and we're really grappling with some stuff that was really hard for her to own, and it's really important. So she was born breech, and at the time, those were very, very difficult births, and my mother almost died, and she almost died. And I do believe that there was an injury to the part of her brain that controls aggression. So she would fly from a very, very young age. She would go into these incredible rages. And of course now there'd be all the support in her schooling and all sorts of stuff to help her. But she never got any of that. And because of that, like she would go into rages, and my poor mother with all, 12 kids eventually, just couldn't handle it. I would like put her in this like bridle thing and tie her up, not tie her up, but put her on a rope on the porch because she would scream, "I want my party shoes, I want my patent leather," blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this untreated condition with all these kids, I was in a room with her with 4 other girls. We had these Navy issued off of the boats in the harbor of New York Harbor, that my dad got. And so we were all kind of squeezed in there. And she really traumatized. Her outbursts and her rages really affected my younger brothers and sisters. I was old enough, to kind of understand this is just what she's like. We didn't understand it, but the older siblings could kind of accommodate her. We learned how to soothe her and all this stuff. My sister is incredibly smart. She was really beautiful, but she had this problem, and she married a very abusive guy. She was very impulsive. I also had no control over impulse. And at 30, she decided, I want to have a family. I want to have babies. This gentleman who's a big shot international immunologist was trying to invent an airborne version of AIDS. Anyway, she got pregnant deliberately and was in a very abusive relationship, which made everything worse and worse and worse. So she was a kind of pariah in our family, and I'm saying this because it's really deep pain and sorrow that her life has involved because of karma, whatever. So she's been very isolated, and my other siblings, especially the youngers, shun her. She's trying to make amends and heal this stuff as she heads out, but she couldn't get there. Like total denial. So I've been doing a lot of work just quietly listening, doing a lot of heart breath on these daily phone calls with her. Sometimes they last hours. And my goodness, it turns out that yesterday, for the first time, I said, these people are angry at you. And can you own that you really traumatized them when they were young? And she finally, she's in her 50s now, admitted, yeah, I really did, didn't I? So it's so amazing what these tools can do for other people, working with people on this. It's been a long time we lived together. I always could get along with her. We've had wonderful, long periods of time that we've shared a space out in Eastern Long Island. We've really been close. So I'm just trying to say that that's kind of where my attention and energy has been absorbed, where I put the practices to work. So let them, just use I've been taught, what we've all studied and learned, and it's incredibly powerful gifts. And I'm really excited, and the hope is returned that some insight and freedom and deliverance and joy can come out of her death, and a lot of healing in my family. And got these beautiful grandchildren, one who looks exactly like her, the big blue eyes, the blonde hair, and this kind of dreamy look, and interest in poetry and all sorts of stuff. So, life is really, birth school is like, for the repeat offenders, it's pretty hard here. It's a challenging place, especially if you don't have the tools, or if you've got like this kind of head injury that part of her brain that doesn't work very well. So I want to share that hope and the joy that comes with having tools and being able to share them. And a lot of it's just quietly on the phone, just breathing together, just listening, just being open to soul, just kind of a big new concept for her. She was a mathematician, really, really good at that stuff. So I hope I'm making sense. And that's really where my energy and attention has been. Her death is not very far away. And she's in a lot of pain. And even though we don't live close by, she's in Princeton, getting the best treatment available through Sloan Kettering. But death is a really holy place. And I know we have a book on death. Forget our gal who's like the specialist on all the hard problems, sex and death, or other places where as human beings we can have challenges. So hard breath's been so powerful, and the stillness and everything that we work on here. So I'm just sharing how powerful the tools are, how transformative, how liberating this process is for my sister. So I'm figuring she's got probably maybe max 6 or 8 weeks. So here we have it. Satnam.
Satnam. God bless you. This is wonderful for healing. Isn't that
Yes.
amazing? Yes.
It's a miracle. It's miraculous that she can come to that insight. So she's blocked her whole life. I've done nothing wrong. She doesn't remember these rages and these totally flipping out on people. And she did disappear for a while with her 2 kids, and we were serving breakfast, and our nephew's pictures were on the back of the milk carton as missing children. She just traumatized the heck out of everybody with these escapades. So I had a lot of healing myself to do around it. So pass. Yeah.
Good Lord. Okay. Well, God bless you all. That means there's a lot of amazing healing for prayer, right? And our spirituality and yoga. God bless you all. Yes, it's heart. It's all heart. You got it. Thank you. Okay, so how about Japa Saraswati?
Satnam. I had the be in 2 ways. So we just had an eclipse in Maine, and it was really special. A lot of a number of Native American traditions have that it's a rebirth. So I've been thinking of it as a rebirth for me. I fasted for the day leading up to it, and so then B, as the
existence of self as like just being yourself. When did we come into this existence? How is it that we're here? And what are these, how do I think about identity without doing everyday self? And so what I came to was my spiritual name, which is Japa Saraswati, and just being Japa Saraswati, Baba Siri Chand more often calls me Japa Saraswati than he calls me Jess. Um, so um, being Japa Saraswati, I notice how many incredibly musical people we have on our meditation today. And I don't make music, but the Japa Saraswati is all about just how much, well, it's not all about, but it's about the sound current. And and Saraswati being the goddess of music, it's like one of my really, it's one of my special gifts that I got that. But how do I express this lyricism that sort of flows through me that I just really appreciate? This morning, for example, it came in my asana practice, and I especially adore asana practices where the teachers have amazing music, like this woman, not Jagat Gurukar, but right next, Jagat Gurukar actually did something really slick with the she would play harmonic frequencies in the background of a lot of her classes. But Marilyn, who was right down the road from Jagat Gurukar in Altamont Springs, Florida, was South African, and all of the music in her class was African. And there was another woman there, Danita, who was Thai, and there was like a lot of Asian music in her class. Um, it's not just about the music in the classes, it's about the classes. It's about um, being in this lyrical place with my practice and letting the energy just flowing through my body, whether it's musical or asana, or sometimes when we're really lucky, that fusion of both. Um, it's just incredibly magical. And then Baba loves the entendre, and I felt BEE, like buzz, like one, the frequencies that the bees buzz at, but
Say it
about
again.
us,
Wait a
the
minute.
frequency that the bees, their the frequency that they make when they make their bee buzz,
Oh,
um it's healing to us. I forget which number frequency it is, but it is healing to people as well as to other things. Bees have a lot of healing in them. But I also felt the being as that we think of bees as individual animals, but they're actually not one animal. The whole hive or the whole swarm is is more like one animal. And I felt that being of this sharing the collective consciousness together, of being together, like in Sangat today, or like in presence in my class this morning, sharing the parts of us that we share with ourselves, the fragrance or the frequency that we emit, that we let off, that we leave behind, that lingers, the essence of ourselves, of being. And just how special that is to share that, and to be part of the rest of it was about um, deep self knowledge. And to be sharing of ourself, we have to be in a place of, well, to be sharing healthily, is to be sharing from places, not that we have to be healed on everything, but the things that we are more healed about are the things that, the aspects of ourself that we deeply know, and that then we don't have that charged frequency with it. We have a neutral frequency. So I kept getting the deep neutral forgiveness that comes with deep self-knowledge, and being in that place of expression for both of those things is being able to express our creativity, being able to have those nadis all the way open and free flowing, and productive, uplifting. What's the word I'm looking for? It's sustaining. It's sustaining to us, like that, remembering that our true self is self-sustaining, and just how innately healthy we are when we're in that place of deep self-knowledge. That was the big one of the big nuggets of my meditation this morning.
Mm,
Yeah,
good. Okay. Thank you, dear.
thank you.
Okay. Now, Hadi Munder. Are you there? Hadi Munder? Hmm. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
I wonder if Jagat Gurukar would say anything.
Okay.
Oh, there's Hari Munder. Hari Munder is here.
Oh, yes.
I'm here, but all of a sudden I can't hear you guys. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. What I finally felt as I was meditating through, or just being through everyone's information, and what you have been saying, was a sense of actually Harimunder, meaning the pool, the healing water, over which the Golden Temple, the Harimandir Singh, was built. And just that deep it's I don't have the right word for it, but that healing water that I am, we are, and going back, the presence is the healing with others. And what I'm finding over the last couple of weeks, where I've had experiences of meditating together with other people online, how lovely it is, because it just deepens and broadens, and it's so much easier just to go into that space when we're doing it together.
Oh, good.
So that's what I got.
That's wonderful. So, you know, because Yogi Bhajan used to say that we were one group. We are the same. We are together. And this is what you're talking about.
And what Japa Saraswati was talking about with the beehive too.
Ah, interesting. Right. Okay. So in the times, that means where we have been pushed from difficulty, from frequency, that's what you and apparently also from everybody to move into this whole everybody, right? And then stay in pure peace, right?
Yes.
That's it. And what you're talking about is about that pond um, in the middle of the Golden Temple, and that is called Amritsar. And Amrit means, wait a minute, it is, what I'm hearing is subtle, totally powerfully subtle, and moving, or Sar is SAR, is about that pond, about that that feeling totally within that healing peace. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Aren't you all wonderful? Being the one, all of us being one. Isn't that the
But
best for the times, because we're not upset. We are simply being totally peace. God bless you all. This is so, this is, we have all found that together. God bless you all. And thank you, Jagat Guru, for coming with us.
She messaged me just a second ago saying that her connection is not strong enough to do talking, and that's why she actually dropped off before. But she said the frequency of healing and sound breathing, expanding into one, connecting as one. We are one, just as you were saying. Everybody was one. That message was dinging, it was dinging in. So she's on the frequency. We're all on the frequency together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all moving to the one, to the B. Love you all. Okay, so let's just feel love, to feel that love with heart breath, with a little while. Just feel it now. Okay, and now, Kehar, would you please lead us to our song? Please.
Yes. Bring your hands together in prayer pose. Inhale. May the Lord shine
upon you.
All
Love
love surround
around
you.
you.
And the
way on.
Guide
Guide your
way
way on.
on. Guide
Guide your way on.
Inhale.
Nam.
And bless you all. We are all one. Bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
all.
Bless you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Love
Okay.
you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
So
Love
happy,
Thank you.
so happy we're here today, Kehar.
Yeah, it's nice to